What's up guys, it's Creeper Camos. Today's video will be a little different. I'll be giving you guys a tutorial on how I make my thumbnails that you see in my videos on my channel. Now this video is for a few selectives that I feel need these tips, and it also applies to everyone else that watches this video. Unlike most thumbnail videos, it's not gonna be like a step-by-step follow-up type thing. It's literally gonna be me just giving you a bunch of tips while I'm making a thumbnail. With all honesty, like, I know these thumbnails look all fancy and stuff, but to be very real with you, it doesn't have to look like that. As long as these thumbnails convey a message or a moment that relates to the video, then you're honestly good. You can see this because there are like YouTubers with millions of subscribers getting like thousands of views, and their thumbnails are literally just images slapped on top of each other. It could have taken them all 30 seconds to make. So I'm just saying, good looking thumbnails aren't everything, but they will at least help you grab the attention of some viewers. You guys get the idea. Anyways, if you guys want more tutorial stuff like this, such as how I make my videos, I want to see this video hit 50 likes. It does sound like a lot, but I mean, with a channel that has 800 going on to like 900 subscribers now, it shouldn't really be that much. Like, I know you guys can do it. And for all the new viewers that are watching this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you like videos like this and Sonic content. I'm gonna change that up once I get to 1,000. I'm just keeping like a bit of a meme grind right now, but yeah, be sure to hit that sub button. It's helping out the channel and it's much appreciated. Anyways, let's get raw into the video. Alright, so these things, ignore everything else here. I use this and this. For the sprites specifically, I enlarge them with a sprite, but when it comes to the thumbnail making, I use this. And I use this, like these two here, to edit videos, and I use this to like render them. Pretty much what you guys need are Adobe Photoshop CC and a sprite. I'm not going to show you how to get these. You guys can look on that yourself. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to quickly open Photoshop. Now, as you guys can see here, you guys can see like a bunch of thumbnails like this. For example, I've been making thumbnails for a guy called GamerBlake90, a really cool Sonic tuber. I really like his content, honestly. He's a cool guy, positive vibes, love his videos. Check out his channel. Also, one thing as well, I'm not going to show you how to use things like tools in Photoshop. If you guys want to know how to do that, I'd recommend you guys finding some separate tutorial for that on YouTube. That's basically what I did. I just searched like how to use Photoshop, and people pretty much go over like how to use tools, tips that you can use if you want to get like some specific sort of aesthetic. So yeah, I recommend you having a look at least the basics of Photoshop. I'm gonna leave maybe 1 or 2 videos in the description as well. So yeah, but the first thing you guys are gonna want to do is go and create new. Then I already have like a bunch of sizes here that I've used, but what you're going to want to do is go to film and video, because you want to make a thumbnail that's either 1080 or 720. Personally, I'd say to go for 720, because sometimes you may end up making a 1080 thumbnail and it may have like too many effects or colors in it, and then the size just may be too big for YouTube to handle. So I'd recommend going with 720. Everything on this side, you guys can like copy this. If you guys already have it, then just leave it as that. Background, I don't think you can make it transparent. Yeah, you can't make it transparent. Wait, can you? Nah, doesn't look like it. Anyways, go and create. Boom. Alright, so once you hit create, then you should see this. I'm using control minus and plus, or dash and plus, to zoom in and out. If you guys see these blue lines, you guys can easily get rid of them. Just go onto view and then just clear guides. Those are like guidelines for like proportions and stuff. Don't really need them unless like you're a flipping photographer or something. This may look intimidating at first, like if this is your first time using Photoshop. I'm gonna be honest, once you segment everything down, like once you understand every bit of like every panel, then there's not really much to worry about. Like, these are basically the tools, and like whenever you select on different tools, then it has options around those tools. These are for your layers. Channels, to be honest, I don't really use. I'm just gonna close that. If you guys want to know more about things like this, then I'd honestly just recommend just having a look around on YouTube on like what paths are, like how to use them and stuff. I'm really bad at explaining stuff. Making this tutorial is actual hell. You guys don't understand. If you guys want to copy this little setup I have here, go ahead and do that. I don't really use these. I just keep them there for no particular reason. Anyways, you guys want to be on layer, one of the main panels out of everything. Or tools, layer, color. That's pretty much it. And you want to see your work as well. You don't want to like do that. What you guys have now is a white sort of thing here. Now what you want to do is you want to drag on all that, hit delete. Oh no, it's not working. Well, the reason to that is because it has a padlock here and you guys want to get rid of that, which is easily done by double clicking. Now that the padlock is gone, if you hit delete, it's now transparent. The first thing I want to teach you guys to do is how to make that thumbnail overlay. I don't know what to call it actually. It's something that I personally like to add to my thumbnails. I don't know, it just adds to it, I guess. Makes it look nice. So like this, for example. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do this first. It's pretty easy, to be honest. Create like a shape. You guys can create any shape. I don't really care what you do. I'm just gonna fill up the whole space here. Then I'm gonna hit right click, free transform, just make it a bit smaller. You guys can make it wider, you guys can rotate it, but I'm just gonna stretch it out a bit, bring it to the middle. Also, it has like this magnet sort of effect, so like it kind of brings it to the middle for you, so that you don't have to be like dead accurate. Pretty useful that Photoshop has that. And just hit the tick, double click the white thing here, basically the small tiny preview of the layer. You want to double click that, and then it can bring you the blending options, or you guys can right click and then you'll see it right here. Then you guys are going to want to go on drop shadow. We want to make that smaller, so bring down the size. The spread, you can increase it. I'd say to like you just need to play around with it, to be honest. See what looks good. I'm going to bring up the size a bit. Distance, I don't touch distance, so I just keep that at 0. But yeah, spread and size is pretty much what you want to be touching. Colors, you don't need to worry about anything else, to be honest. Like a shadow is black, okay? The shadow isn't red, it's not white, it's not any other color but black. I think this looks alright. So then once you're done, just hit OK. So you guys are going to want to right click on it, then go into load selection. You guys are going to want to rasterize. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Rasterize, I don't know how to pronounce it, but click on that, then just hit back. And boom, that's literally it. You want to make sure that the overlay is like on top, it's the top layer. There you go, you guys can kind of see it. That's not really the best because I'm literally just putting this on top of a thumbnail that's already been made. If you guys want to like increase the shadow, you guys can just go ahead and duplicate it by hitting Ctrl J just to make it more visible. I'm just spamming on it right now if you can see the layers. You just want to get what's comfortable for you. So here's what my one is. Like I basically just got the rectangle, rotated it a bit, and I just added like some little triangle shapes just to make it look nice. You guys saw it in my previous video as well, the little chemical lean video. Okay, so now that that's out the way, I'm now going to show you guys how to make a thumbnail. So I have this Photoshop file. I don't know what to call it, just a PSD. I don't know what to call it, but I have this file here that I use whenever I'm making a video for Gamer Blake. I'm just gonna go ahead and change the text, but if you guys want to add text, all you got to do is just head to the text tool and then just click wherever you want, and then you can just add text. If you guys want to like get fonts and stuff, you can literally just go on Google or whatever browser you use, search for the font. So I search like Sonic the Hedgehog font. It'll bring you to a page where you can download the font, and you'll download a zip, then just open up the zip. Then there's gonna be like some files that you can like click onto it, install the fonts, and there you go. So I'm just gonna quickly just look for the Sega Sonic one. Yeah, the one I got is called Nice Sega Sonic, so just click on that. I'm just gonna put tut. Similarly to these, you can also like add blending options to it. So with these, I just added shadows. You guys can do that with this as well. As seen here, you guys can just play around with the spread, size, all that good stuff. This thumbnail I'm making, it's for the second episode of Gamer Blake's Let's Play for Sonic Generations. Alright, so I'm gonna change this quickly to 2, bring this out a bit. Can I not move the, there you go, like so. I'm changing this to chemical plant. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a guy to really tell you how to be creative. That's up to you. One of the keys to like become creative, like first you need to be inspired by something. So take ideas from thumbnails that you see on YouTube. I can't really recommend you like YouTubers that I see with amazing thumbnails, because most of the YouTubers I watch, they have like just meh thumbnails. I mean, some look good, but I can't really like recall like all YouTubers I know that have good thumbnails. So just when you're watching videos or when you're looking at thumbnails, just be sure to see what's good about the thumbnail and try and like add whatever's good into your own thumbnail as well to also make it as good. What I usually like to do for like these thumbnails, these type of thumbnails, I'd like to get a background, for example, and then just slap a render on top of it, and then like add like some stroke and like some white outlines and shadows and stuff. just make it look a little bit fancy, nothing too much. Alright, so we got the image here. I'm just gonna bring it to the bottom in layers so that it's the background. I'm gonna rasterize the layer so that I can edit it. Pretty much what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna increase the size to get rid of like Sonic and stuff. This looks alright. So now what I usually do for the thumbnails, it's pretty lazy. I'm gonna be honest, like what I do is pretty damn lazy. I go onto blending options. Like literally blending options is like the main thing when it comes to me making thumbnails. So the first thing I do is add gradient overlay. It just makes things look nice. Play around with it. Add like your own colors and stuff. You can edit the colors here. Just add like blue or whatever. And then like you change the opacity here. So I have like a bunch of colors here. You guys should have a bunch of these colors. There's some that I made, so I'm just gonna see which one just looks nice. I do like this this set of colors that I use because it creates a little like emphasis on the chemical plant being on fire. Like as you can see here, it does really add to the fire here. Play around with the settings as well. Okay, so after that, the second thing I add is pattern overlay. It does make it look a little bit lighter. So then what I do is like I add a color overlay as well. You guys really have to like play around with this. Like be careful because it may just end up making it look ugly. Yeah, it does look like a bit of a mess. When I'm like done adding all my blending options and stuff, I go ahead to filter, blur, and then you can add like any blur that's not like motion or radial. It's just there. What I normally add is I don't know how to pronounce this, Gaussian, I don't know. Makes the lines pop out a bit more, and you can still see that like it's chemical plant as well, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I think this amount is alright. So I'm just going to click OK. Okay, so now that we have the background, the next thing I want to do is add some renders to this. You can obviously make your own renders. I've never made a Sonic render before, but I have made Minecraft renders, and for that I use Cinema 4D. But I'd recommend just getting Blender and just trying to find like a Sonic mesh that's either free or paid, and just trying to make your own render instead of like trying to find ones on Google. Like finding one on Google may be easier. At the end of the day, you could get yourself in trouble. I really do recommend you guys like asking people to use these renders, like getting their permission, and that's just something that like not everyone may agree with. I'm just letting you guys know about that as a heads up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna search Sonic renders. I do like the look of this one. It's quite cool. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one as well. Alright, so now we got both renders. I'm just gonna drag them. Well, I'm gonna drag the modern Sonic one first. I'm just gonna play around with it until I see something that looks comfortable. And now for the classic Sonic one. This one I'm actually going to put behind Sonic, so just adjust the size of both. And in order to like select multiple layers at once, I just hit shift and I just click both. Make sure you're on this tool and then right click and hit free transform, and you can just move it around like so. So the next thing we're looking for is an Amy render. We have some digging to do, or I could just use the first one here. Looks decent. Booyah. Now here's where we get to the main bit with the renders when it comes to making them look good. I also use blending options. I use a lot more things than what I use for the background. So the first thing I add is stroke. You can make it 5, 10. I'm gonna keep it at 5 because I think that's big enough. Everything else you can just leave like that. Inner shadow, I mean, it does make a little difference, so I'm just gonna play with this a bit more. It does help by like a small bit. It does. Yeah, let's just keep it at that. Alright, you can add a glow as well. I mean, it just slapping effects on top of each other is basically what I do. It's nothing that special. Alright, let's go for like a red because of chemical plant. There you go, it kind of helps. Then we got this as well. Let's see what happens if I add white. Whitish, reddish. But then the thing that makes it stand out like the most is when you add gradient overlay. When you add gradient overlay, it helps by a long shot. This you have to play around with also. And also drop shadow. Add that as well. I think that's basically it. Now if you guys just want to copy like what you did here onto the other render, it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is just click on new style, render, and just okay. Then you go on to classic Sonic. Oh, also rasterize these. I'm just very lazy right now, so I can't be bothered. Then you go on to blending options for classic Sonic. Then you go into styles, and it's right here. Click on it, boom. Now I'm gonna make some little adjustments. Now that's not bad. And then the same thing for Mrs. Rose over here. Meh, she doesn't look that bad. This ain't the best thumbnail right now. One thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add, I'm gonna use this called the gradient tool. I'm just gonna go into the background layer, then drag out, then boom. It kind of just adds Yeah, you guys are gonna want to play around with that. I guess that will do. Another thing that I want to add is it's like another like overlay type thing. I'm not really sure what to call it. I'm just gonna whip it up and let you guys see. It's this. I'm gonna add that and just make it like behind, like Amy, like that. There we go. Then hit tick. And then here's another thing you can play with. This is like another sort of blending option thing. And when you hover on them, you can kind of see like what effect they're gonna give. So I'm just gonna have a look here. Now I like multiply. I'm gonna add that. And I feel like this needs to move a bit more, so I'm just gonna do that as well. I guess I can bring down the opacity. It's kind of getting in the way of chemical plant, but we still want it to be there. We still want it to be visible. Yeah, one last thing now that I'm going to add is the Sonic Generations title. Perfect. Even more perfect, but cleaner. Oh, I don't want that to be behind. I want that to be on top. And I'm just gonna put this on the side like that. Then another thing I'm gonna play with here is called it's like a mesh warp thing. Just click on that and then you can do stuff like that. Alright, now let's bring that on top. Then we can add a little shadow to this. We can add some like other stuff as well. But yeah, blending options is like the main thing that I use. Does make it look a lot better with the gradient overlay. I do like how it looks. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. I never really had much of an idea of what to put in this thumbnail, so that's why I wouldn't really call this my best compared to like others that I've done. But yeah, this is looks pretty decent. It reminds me of like Cabana Money 456's thumbnails, if you know who that guy is. One thing I want to say is that the comment section is open, so if you guys want to ask me any questions like further on about how I make my thumbnails, then you guys can go ahead and ask me there, or you guys can join my Discord server, which is in the description. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how I put sprites onto thumbnails, which includes using a sprite which you can buy off of Steam. I can't remember the price. You guys can find that out yourself. You guys can use Photoshop as well, but I do not know how to play with sprites in Photoshop. I recommend a sprite. The reason I use a sprite as well was because I'm just comfortable with it. Like, I do pixel art as well. I play with sprites, I make edits and stuff, so that's pretty much why I use it. But you guys can use Photoshop as well. You guys can learn how to like play with like sprites and stuff in Photoshop. There are some videos out there that will show you how to do that. Say for example, if I wanted to add like a sprite that's from Sonic Mania, then I go on Google, I'd get the sprite sheet, then I'd go on a sprite, then I try to locate it, and boom. Make sure it's like the actual pixel for pixel image and not like some blurred one. A sprite, I'm not going to show you how to use this as well. I'm just going to find another tutorial that you guys can follow up. There's not really much you need to know, to be honest. Let's use this for example, this sprite right here. So I'm going to use the selection tool here. Just going to drag it from the top left to the bottom right. Then I'm going to hit Control C to copy, file, new. Then it's literally going to give you the size of the previous sprite. Control V. I go onto this, the paint bucket tool. Make sure this is transparent, so make sure you just go on, click on that alpha, bring that to 0, then right click on this to get rid of the background. Then I go into sprite size, then you can bring it up to like 1000. Just make sure that it's big enough for like it to clearly show up in Photoshop. Otherwise, if you just send it onto Photoshop as this current size, it's going to be very blurry. It's going to look very, very ugly. Then I'm going to save it as a PNG. So save as, then go on PNG, and boom. After that, you just got to locate the file. So my one, it was saved to desktop. I have another one here from my previous video. Then you just drag that here, and boom, you got yourself a big Sonic sprite. Just gonna slap him on top right here, like that. Then yeah, you can pretty much just do the same thing with blending options. Just gonna add like a style on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for adding sprites onto thumbnails. It's not much to it. But yeah, other than that, this is the thumbnail that we got going. It's not the best, as I said, but it will do. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really give much tips. If you guys want to know more, I'd suggest you guys asking me like some questions in the comments on how I do some things that you see in my thumbnail, and then I'll try and reach out depending if I get the notification or not. Another thing you can do as well is join my Discord server. Pretty active on Discord. So but yeah, once you're done with the thumbnail, then just go into file. You can go on export, and export is that, but I just go on save as, then I just go on PNG here, name it like chemical plant. make sure to save that as the smallest size, because YouTube does not like big sizes. That's pretty much it for making a thumbnail. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button. We're gonna try and get 50 likes for the how I edit my videos tutorial, and yeah, there's not really much else that I've got to say, so I'll see you guys in the next video.